All right, welcome to round number 1. We are on the draw here. Our opponent is mulliganed, and our hand is not a keep. We have a dredger. Well, I don't know. Maybe with our opponent mulliganing, we could get away with this. Like, we sort of have an enabler in this conflagrate, right? We can turn 1, pitch, turn 1, pitch our conflagrate, turn 2, pitch these things. That means we're not dredging until turn 3. We're not getting bloodghast till turn 3. This is on the draw. I think we can do better than that. Let's give it a try. This hand is really close, obviously. It's a little bit faster than our previous hand. It has a Narcomoeba, which is not great. Obviously, we need to be able to find another land here. We could keep this and get our scry on. Try to find it on the draw, but I don't have anything like a Faithless Looting to reward me, so I think this hand is kind of a trap. The payoff is moderate, right? I think if the payoff for this hand is higher, I would be more interested in keeping, right? Like, Cathartic ditching these two is not very likely to even hit another dredger or something to bring this into play, so I'll kind of just be in a bad spot anyway. I think that's a mulligan. This hand is very, very similar. It's just a little bit better. I think I'll keep that over going down to 4 here. Our opponent is also on 5. We'll see what we can get here. Cathartic's going to have to go to the bottom. Need a land. Temple of Triumph. So probably white-red prison. That deck certainly has propensity to mulligan frequently as well. Plus, I don't know what else would possibly have a Temple of Triumph, but good thing for us, Blood Moon doesn't really matter. Chalice on 1. Only a mild irritant. Obviously, turning out Faithless Looting is annoying, but oh, I got to turn some stops back on. I turned a bunch off yesterday when I was in a time-oriented game, a time-sensitive game. I'm obviously just going to be taking my draw here. I need to draw a land. There's a Thug. I'm going to try to hit my land drop here. So I'm going to pitch this this prized amalgam. Drew another dredger. Still want to hit my land this turn. I'm going to pitch this, but not dredge. Darn. We'd be in a pretty good spot at this point if we'd hit our land, but now it's not looking so good. Yeah. I can't afford to pitch this conflagrate, obviously, since it would be my last gemstone mine counter. At this point, we're kind of hoping that we just get blood mooned. If not, I'll use the loam to sort of reset here if we can find another land. Opponent's not doing a lot, but doesn't matter. We're not finding lands at all here. Alright, so our opponent lands a Blood Moon. This at least means... Well, we finally found the land. This at least means we don't lose our gemstone mine anytime soon. And I do get to Cathartic here. Looks like we're going to be pitching Stinkweed Bloodghast. We already have another Stinkweed in there, so I'm going to take this sort of greed option. Assuming we'll find a third dredger between the first two Stinkweeds, and we did. Alright, what we get here? A Narcomoeba, 1 additional Bloodghast, Conflagrate, a looting. So tons of lootings. We, of course, still have that same prized amalgam, which we're going to get right now. No Dackmore salvage, unfortunately. This list we're playing today, you might remember, does have 3. So I was sort of hoping to hit one of those. Did not have another dredger, so forced to take a natural draw. Let's go ahead and attack. Didn't hit a land, unfortunately, with that natural draw. Hit a Bloodghast. Helix my prized amalgam. Alright. Well, that'll certainly buy them some time. Probably want to cast Conflagrate this turn. Obviously, we don't really have anything else to do. So it's really a matter of how many cards we want to pitch. My opponent could land a Planeswalker that I very much would want to kill. So I really don't think I want to pitch many, but obviously I do need to get, like, this Conflagrate, Bloodghast, and at least one Stinkweed Imp in the yard. Let's just do 3 then. No, let's get an extra Dredger in there. So we'll do it for 4. Conflagrate, Bloodghast, Stinkweed, Stinkweed. So we still have some cards for an additional one. Tossed some Dredgers in there. Hopefully can dredge into a way to get those Bloodghasts back. Or we could just take a natural draw and hope. I suppose that was my other option. Don't Conflagrate. Take a natural draw and hope. I'm taking the other line here. Still did not hit a Dakmor, but did hit an Archamoeba at least. But we still only have the one prized amalgams. I've hit quad Bloodghasts, but no Dakmors, unfortunately. So obviously, normally we would just cast Loam in this spot, but not with Blood Moon. So opponent's Blood Moon sufficiently annoying us here. At least it keeps our Gemstone Mine alive, I suppose. There's always a bright side. Helix again, sure. Opponent's life total stays high. Looking for some Planeswalkers. Maybe they already have like an Elspeth in their hand. Alright. Dark Bless we don't care about here. Just want to hit some stuff. Wow, still no Dakmor salvage. Did hit another prized amalgam. Obviously we still have this Conflagrate. Man, the unfortunate part about not hitting that salvage yet, too, is that obviously the turn we hit the salvage, we still have to dredge it the next turn. Like, we still have a long way to go, so to speak. Opponent just blocks. So they probably are just going to be wrathing soon. Makes sense for their hand to be, like, flooded with wraths. Yeah. Dredge Thug. Still no salvage. Alright. I mean, I could be taking natural draws to try and just hit a land, but with 3 salvage in our deck, it just seems so much more likely to dredge into salvage, but after a while you start to question that decision, I suppose, on continued miss. But I think it's still the right thing to be doing. That's not great. That's not great for us at all. Alright, there's Amoeba, and there's a salvage. So obviously was waiting to Conflagrate, but now we're going to have some problems with that. With a ley line entering play here. I'd have to like Conflagrate myself to discard cards now, which is very unfortunate. I could wait for creatures to show up. The issue is that I don't have any good dredgers here. Right? I mean, I'm dredging the salvage this turn, so I guess it doesn't matter. I might as well wait, and I could always just discard hand size. I'm at 7 anyway, so yeah, I guess there's no reason to really do anything here. Alright, our graveyard's getting a little bit in the way here. Alright, something for us to do with our Conflagrate. Excellent. Dredge salvage. Hit another salvage. Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, we definitely want to kill this. wonder if we wait to put the blood gas in because they'll have haste. It doesn't matter since I have another salvage, right? I mean, I guess they could have something weird to deal. Are they more likely to have main deck answer to graveyard or something? I guess settle the wreckage they could have in their main deck already. I guess I'm just going to wait. I mean, settle obviously doesn't change putting the blood gas in now, but that's just something to think about. What else? I mean, they could have like random terminus, I guess. Would be a reason not to put the salvage in. I mean, that would be a surprise, like terminus or hallowed burial or something, but if there was a deck that was going to play it, I guess it would be that. So this time they'll obviously have Rest in Peace alongside their ley lines. They'll have Angers, which they probably already did. I guess that's a reason, right? Not only do they have Wrath of God, they probably, not every list plays Anger, but they probably had Anger, and they will in their 75, so I guess that's a reason not to put in the blood guests. This is quite bad. Not really interested in the Surgicals, the Vengeful Pharaoh. The Driven to Despair, I think I am not interested in against this deck. Most of the time their hand is bad anyway, right? They're just trying to get into a top deck position. Grudge destroys Chalice, but I really don't think Chalice is that good here. Definitely don't want Lightning Axe or start to finish. So Brutality is to find Angers. These to blow up Rest in Peace. Is that where we're at? Feels like that's where we're at. So I'll probably cut a salvage here. I guess I shouldn't, because I can get into a very similar situation that I did that game. I guess the issue with these things too is that obviously I'm not going to be able to cast them through Blood Moon. And because we're on a list with 3 brutalities instead of any number of Thoughtseize, I don't really have the ability to control that. Like, I can't actually take their hate. Can only blow it up, which I won't be able to do through Rip. But there's really nothing I can do about that. I don't think that means I shouldn't bring in the ways to blow it up, right? So yeah, I guess that's just the way it's going to be. Haunted Dead, assuming we're not getting Blood Mooned. I guess this should probably come out in some number, especially with Leyline in my opponent's deck. Maybe even 2. Still something I want access to, but probably something I should be wary of. I sort of need all of these. I guess I'll still take out a deck more. And then I'm at the point where I'm probably shaving like 1 Meba. I think the Dead is good. 1 Meba or like 1 Bloodghast. It's not like the ground gets gummed up. It's just that my opponent, between Anger and like turning off my Loam engine, Ghast could be worse. Meba still like consistently brings this in. Like a game like we just played. Not sure that's correct. It's definitely Ghast or, well, not definitely. I think it's Ghast or Meba there. And this time we'll try cutting 1 Ghast. This is a tough hand to mulligan. I mean, it's got like an enabler but no dredger and a way to beat hate. So sort of like in a sideboard game, it's checking 2 of the 3 boxes that I like. And with a lot of decks, I'm pretty happy to check 2 of 3 boxes when I'm looking for a keepable hand. With Dredge, you can mulligan pretty aggressively, so like that sort of puts me more inclined to try pitching this hand, right? Like we could just say let's go for a 6 that's a little more aggressive and not really lose very much, right? Dredge is not a deck that requires sort of spell density in hand to be productive. Not a good looting for us, so we'll have to pitch Amalgam. Hopefully those don't get like Rest in Peace tier. Okay, so our opponent kept a Landlight hand with hate. They do get this Rest in Peace going, which will decay this turn cycle. I guess I could have Brutality'd first, but with my opponent missing land drops, it doesn't seem particularly important, and I could draw a way to... I guess I'd have to draw an enabler into dredgers, really, so that's not... Maybe I didn't need to do it this way. Guess we're kind of locked in at this point. I guess, no, I already have the enabler, but I wouldn't be dredging this turn, but I wouldn't want to pitch an enabler. Yeah, okay. No, I definitely want to do it this way, right? Because if I draw a dredger, this is my enabler. Unfortunately, I don't have two things to target, so I can't pitch both Bloodghasts. It might serve me better to play Amalgam first, and then I could actually 3-mode this, pitching... Well, then I don't have another land to play, though. Oh, I actually can't cast this Brutality because it just says target opponent, not player. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, I guess that solves that for me. I thought I could target myself. Whoops, that's frustrating. Misclicked the pain land there, just take an extra damage. Things that would never happen in paper for 500, please. Like, you're going to tap your lands, and you're like, alright, and tap my forest, mark down your life total, and you're like, dang it. That's not what I meant to do. Alright, opponent found a land. We found a mana confluence, so that's not bad. So it looks like I'm on... How much more do I want to commit to this board? I mean, my opponent just found that land. They have to find red source and have anger. It's not unlikely for them to have anger in this spot, but they do have to find red source. I think I'm supposed to just try and commit. I could have brutality'd just giving this minus to pitch one of these, but at this point I think I'm better off just trying to cast them. And yeah, we're just going in. Like, that's basically the equivalent of casting one, right? It's not... I spent 2 mana. I could have double gassed this turn, I guess, right? Could have, like, basically turned, sort of used this as a Manamorphose without drawing a card. Pitched a ghast, played a land, played a ghast, instead of played Meba and still had this in my hand. But if they play, like, Simian Spirit Guide, I'll be happy for that. Alright, so they're just going to Wrath here. No, okay. Nahiri minus? Nahiri plus. I get to kill that Nahiri for free now. They didn't discard. Huh. So this Nahiri is just fogging, and they used a Simian Spirit Guide. Why? I'm trying to figure out... Are they just trying to get me to commit more into a Wrath, into an Anger? But they're using so many resources to make me do that. Oh, okay. So I guess they mistakenly did not use their Nahiri. So if I play this Bloodghast, I mean, they would have... Okay, so if they did that by accident, they would have angered that turn if they had it, right? It's just so greedy not to. And the problem with not playing this Bloodghast is, like, leaving it back is not really going to help me win the game very much. Maybe a tiny bit increase my chances, but not playing it gives my opponent an extra turn, right? I can put them on a 2-turn clock with this, limiting their draw steps a little bit. We got baited. And when I say we, I mean me. Alright. So we could have had a Bloodghast right now to play alongside this thing and be hitting for 3. Which would put us, you know, in a better position, but probably not a good one. I think I'm still comfortable with having played that Bloodghast, but... Jeez. As soon as my opponent hits their 4th land, this game's going to be over. Alright. Got another thing. Man, maybe we would have won this game if we had a Bloodghast. There's nothing going on. Definitely a weird game. Chalice for 1, sure. So lootings and follow-up neonates are not castable. I probably should have held one additional land because of this and this. Like, I thought, oh, I'll just hold the one land, but I wasn't thinking about Cathartic. So that's, I mean, it's going to pan out just fine, but that's still my bad. Ooh. So, you know, this game has been so weird that it feels like a game where we're not dredging because we hard cast so many things, but we can definitely still dredge. There's no rest in peace. We did blow that up. So we'll have to be thoughtful about how we want to play this turn out, right? And my first thought was like, oh, I can hard cast this Haunted Dead, and then I was like, wait a second, that's not right. I mean, I still could, right? We could just dredge the Stinkweed Imp. I think we want to dredge the Stinkweed Imp at the end of their main phase, or even the end of their turn. It might not be worth the sort of amalgam trick. No, it's probably still worth it. Definitely wouldn't want to get this angered again. If they had like another anger, that would be pretty bad. I think I will just hard cast this and then, you know, worry about this in a moment. I guess we lose the gemstone mine, but at this point, I think that's just fine. I have another blue source. I have 2 black sources otherwise, so I can still cast things like Bloodghast if I wanted to. It's not the worst spot. I guess dredging isn't even that appealing, right? 1 prized amalgam and another Bloodghast. Forgot that we got the 2 prized amalgams killed at the beginning. So this might be fine for us if our opponent just casts like a Wrath here. I do have the awkward like hit a Narcomoeba situation off of this dredge here, but I think I still need to do it, right? I could wait to dredge till my draw step, I guess. All right, well, we didn't hit an Narcomoeba anyway. Dredge this loam. So, cast loam, Haunted Dead shenanigans, and that's it. That's my turn. Don't use this, obviously. Yeah. Mine, Confluence Mountain. I do play... Well, you know what? I can't Conflagrate anyway. I mean, I could draw... If I took a natural draw, which probably isn't happening, I could draw Revelry, but I think we're sort of past that point. So playing the land is probably fine. And I could actually want to use more of my mana on a following turn. Don't have any prized amalgams, right? No. So I can do this end step, no problem. Yeah, another Nahiri. Opponent obviously hitting when they hit their 4th land. We knew things were going to start getting tough. Discard a Leyline. I mean, this Brutality only hits... I have Loam, though. We'll keep the Brutality in case they hardcast a Simian. Stinkweed here, right? Don't really care about loaming. Would rather hardcast Stinkweed even. Can't cast that Faithless Looting. Well, I could, but it would get countered. So really nothing of interest there, unfortunately. I'm going to hold this land so I'm not pigeonholed into... I guess I could Brutality my own Haunted Dead. Then I'm going to have to... man, I shouldn't have played that land last turn. If I hadn't played that land last turn, I could, like, Brutality my own Haunted Dead here to sort of stop it from getting exiled by Nahiri. Also protect it from Wraths or Angers. Also get another Spirit. But I can't Hardcast Stinkweed Imp, activate Haunted Dead. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, I just can't. If I'm brutalitying Stinkweed Imp's my second card, so I just can't do that at all. So I'm really not actually adding any threat to the board, just protecting Haunted Dead. I guess in that case, I probably just cast this. Like, this is the same amount of power I would have if I did the whole other shenanigans, and it pigeonholes me into dredging loam so that I could return Bloodghasts that I've found. But since I have this gemstone mine in my hand, then I'm now just not discarding to dead. Yeah, okay, so they just exile that. That's fine. Exile that. Excuse me. Ugh. Yeah. Yep, this is getting tough. Don't think we're getting there this game. All right, so dredge our thug. Not much of interest there. Still more lootings I can't cast. Yeah, I mean, cast this, I guess. I assume like another walker, I'll hit the table this turn. Which will just put us away, I think. I mean, we'll play it out, but with only like 2 Bloodghasts and 1 Amalgam in our deck, it's going to be tough, especially if this is like Elspeth. All right, Chandra at least, instead of Elspeth. Blood Moon. We're going to get shocked here. Plus Gideon. All right, all the Planeswalkers have been used. Could take a natural draw and hope to hit that Revelry that we still haven't seen. Then I could blow up like Chalice and have a chance, or Leyline and have a chance. I think I'd rather just try to hit those Bloodghasts and Amalgam. Well, we found the Conflagrate. Attack the thing I got to attack. At this point, it might be too late. I guess for the Chalice, I could also draw Decay. Still have 1 Decay left. So at this point, it might be too late to dredge, right? Because if I dredge, then, and let's say we hit both Bloodghasts and the Prized Amalgam. Best case scenario off of our 5 cards. Then what? Can I even kill the Gideon? 7? Yeah, I could kill the Gideon. Even if I only hit 1 Bloodghast, I could kill the Gideon. I guess in that case, I continue to dredge. Just Narcomoeba. Where are you, Bloodghasts? Well, I guess you're in the bottom 12. Not a particularly good question. The answer is right in front of us. All right, bash this for 5. At this point, if I get wrathed, it just doesn't matter. I might as well overcommit. We did hit that Decay, but still have not yet hit that Destructive Revelry. So if I get to a point where I like, you know, I guess I wouldn't have enough time to loam up. Ugh. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now Chandra's ready to alt. Okay. All right. You win. All right. So let's see if we can do a little better this game. Ooh, I forgot about this. I did cut 1 Bloodghast. I'm talking about how I didn't see either. There's only 1 left. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe that is a good reason not to have Meba instead to have this Bloodghast. I mean, my opponent did still have Moon, obviously, in. They probably shaved on them, though. But this is just so much better when my opponent has Moon, especially with me having shaved this salvage. I don't want to be, like, too results-oriented on that one specific game. Maybe like, oh, I should have had all 4 ghasts. But how many dredges am I on right now? 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 12 with 2 of them. Yeah, I'm already like very low on dredgers since we took out a salvage and a dark blast. And we're only on 3 thugs. So I definitely cannot take a dredger out. And I could take out one of these enablers since I've brought in these, and like they're so bad against the I have to leave these in, I think, because of anger, but they're so bad against Leyline. My opponent's just not always going to have Leyline though. So maybe I do side out one of these since I have these as enablers. Leave me with like max number of threats. I want to be explosive, but it's harder to be explosive against the Rest in Peace deck anyway, since there's like, obviously, it's really easy for me to get punished if I'm explosive too early. Yeah, I mean, this hand checks off 2 of the 3 boxes. The one it doesn't check is beating Rest in Peace, right? It doesn't beat, I mean, I guess it doesn't beat specific hate. It beats anger if my opponent doesn't have Leyline, right? So yeah, I mean, basically, bottom line, this hand does not beat hate. I'm still going to keep it, though, because it's proactive enough. Yeah, that's trouble for us. Okay. Yeah, seems good. See what they exile here off their Gemstone Caverns. Simian Spirit Guide. All right. Simian Spirit Guide changed from making 1 mana to being the source of many. An upgrade. So now our hand doesn't beat anger, doesn't beat Rest in Peace, tap land. So we don't get to know whether they had a Rest in Peace or not. What'd they do with that scry though? Let's move this so that doesn't keep bothering us here. They scry to the top. Yeah, that's not great for me. I really can't beat anything at this point. I think I'm just crossing my fingers here, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I guess we might as well go max finger crossing. Nope. Oh, wow. All right. Punished for some greed. Drew Meebo that we would have dredged if we had discarded Loam instead, but I wanted to have this Blood Gas come into play next turn as well. Blood Moon, sure. Not anger. Well, I'm not casting anything. So, and I do have to play a card, so I'm not getting closer to dredge. Excuse me. Discard to hand size to dredge. Jeez. So it's still we're a couple turns away from that. Man, I'm struggling to say that for some reason. All right, so we lost. This hand from our opponent was pretty all right. Was missing a Rest in Peace though, so it wasn't perfect. I guess I'm not playing that. So I can discard to hand size here. Obviously can't cast that, so discard this. All right, 5 lands. We did hit a deck more in there, I guess. Could be worse. So we're down. We're not down a lot of resources here, honestly. I mean, if our opponent's hand is just bricks, we could definitely win this game. There's a Bloodghast, so I guess next turn we'll dredge stack more. The problem with that line is that I pull all the... No, I'll still have this dredger. They were probably holding it. I don't know how we win now. I don't think I possibly can, right? I have no ability to hardcast my creatures except for Neonates. I have no graveyard, and I can't cast my ways to blow up either of these things. Let's just double check to make sure I'm not forgetting something, but I should just be 100% locked here. Yeah, all I can cast is Cathartic Conflagrate, which doesn't do anything because of the ley line. Yeah, I mean, they just have every element covered. They have every prison element required. Another rest in peace. Yeah. Well, that's round number 1. That matchup seems a little tough post-board, and our opponent's hands were pretty reasonable, but I suppose I will see you for round number 2.